Okay, we've got a few more problems to do with factoring by grouping. We're on page 134. If you look at example C, you are thinking, okay, there's my group and there's my group. What can I take out? I can take out a common, the GCF, the common factor, lowest common factor of 3y. And what's left on the inside of the grouping symbol is y minus 3. And then in the second term, I can take out a 2. That's all. And again, I'm left with y minus 3. This is sort of your hint that you're on the right track if you end up with the same terms now that we can factor them out to make this problem complete. So what's left is, take out the y minus 3, we're left with 3y plus 2. Okay, so this is the more of the same. Now we've got a couple examples that are going to take just a little bit more work. So again, we start out, we look at the first two, we look at the second two, we go, okay, yep, they've got something in common. They have a b, and I can factor the b out, and that I'm left with a minus 2. This guy's got a negative sign here, so we're going to have to be careful. This is going to change our signs on the inside. But they do have a c in common. Again, why did I not leave room for my c? So this is c to the outside. And on the inside, we have a positive 2 and a minus a. Remembering we have to be able to distribute back and get our original expression. So minus c times 2 is a minus 2c, and a minus c times a minus a gives you that positive sign we need to be correct. All right, so now you might notice, well, golly, these guys are not the same. We can't factor them out the way they are, but they are opposites. And when they are opposites, we can make them the same by multiplying this term, or this term, I'll just pick the second one, by a minus 1. So I am going to take this term, and I am going to multiply, distribute this guy, and get my terms to be the same. So that leaves a minus 2 here. This is the same. And then I've got a minus 2 times a minus c. So the c is what you factored out. So this becomes c plus c. Minus times minus is plus. And your a minus 2 switches on the inside. So essentially, you're switching these terms, switching the sign of these terms, and switching the sign outside, because you, in effect, have multiplied everything through by the ghostly negative 1. But that works nicely for you now because these are the same. And you can factor the a minus 2 out, and what's left is the b plus c. So always when you are down to the step where you're trying to factor or do your second factoring out, if you have opposites, you're going to change this sign, and then your terms on the inside, their signs are going to change and they're going to flip around. So here's another example that we'll go through. I look at the first two and the back two. What do they have in common? They have the m in common. Oh, they don't. This is a different example. Oh, yeah. So I'm looking and I'm going, hey, these don't have anything in common. What do? Well, then you try flipping your terms around a little bit. You say, well, what if I got the terms together that did have something in common? So what if I wrote it like this? M squared minus mn. I moved that guy. And then I wrote the plus 4n and the minus 4m that way. What if I did that? Then I've got these 4's in common for these back two, and these front two, I have the m's in common. So that's m, factoring out the m to the first power minus n left on the inside, plus 4 coming out, and n minus m on the inside. Now I'm in the same pickle I was up here. I see these guys are opposites. So what I'm going to end up doing is changing this sign and flipping these guys around. So essentially, this is what it becomes. Minus 4, positive m minus n. I've multiplied every single piece by -1. So the negative times the -1 times the positive 4 made him negative. The -1 times positive n made him negative, and it made the m positive. And that's what I wanted to do, because now I can finish this guy up, and I get m, that's an n, m minus n is the common factor, and the second factor is m minus 4. Don't forget, these are all in grouping symbols. There are no plus or minus signs in between these two factors. This is multiplication. All right, let's do this last one, or we'll do example number 3, and then maybe come back together and do 4. So again, you know, you think grouping, 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 grouping. That's all well and good, but you might also notice when you inspect all 4 of these terms together that they actually have a common factor. They have a 2. So there's actually 2 ways to work this problem. So let's say you don't see the common factor. You just do the 2 in the 2 terms. That all looks good. So what can you take out of the first one? I can factor out a 4a. That leaves me x minus b. And the second term, again, that's a negative sign, so I'm going to have to be careful of my signs when I factor. I can factor, I wish I had the mind to not do that every single time. I can factor out a 2b, and that becomes x minus b left on the inside, because again, this negative sign right here, this negative has to multiply times the negative to get this positive. Okay, so now of course you see you have your common factor. This looks pretty straightforward. We're going to bring x minus b to the outside. What's left in the second factor is 4a minus 2b. Now you might think you're finished, but you're really not. So I'm going to write this 4a minus 2b in this order, because I want you to see that you are still always looking, are you completely simplified? And we're not, because this guy has a GCF of 2 that can come to the outside. So that's going to be the very next step. 2 times 2a minus b times x minus b. So this is your final simplified answer. If you saw it at the beginning and you took the 2 out at the beginning, it would look like this. 2ax minus 2ab minus bx plus b squared. And you would, so this is your factor, and then you're looking at these 2 and these 2. So you can factor out, you have your 2 out here, and you can factor out your 2a out of both of those. So you end up with 2a x minus b minus, and this is all, by the way, in a bracket. So there, then we have the minus b, and then you have x minus b on the inside of the bracket, factoring out the x minus b that they have in common. So you have x minus b times 2a minus b. And now you can drop the bracket because there's no distribution. There's not a plus or minus sign in here. I guess you really didn't need the bracket to begin with, but I just wanted you to see that this 2 was a factor and he's off to the side. So your answer is 2x minus b times 2a minus b, which is the same as this answer here. So either way you get there is fine. Just make sure that you are always asking yourself, is there more simplification that I can do? Is there another common term to take out? All right, we'll end this video and come back together again and either do example 4 together, or it might be part of the video check. See ya.